Hi, I'm Deborah Peters, and welcome back to my podcast, Neuroscience for Success, and this new series, The Journey of the Mastery of Your Mind. And we have a whopper of a show for you today. Say hello, Richard.
Well, good evening.
Good evening and good morning. I just dashed in from the gym, so but it's a gooder. And before we get into the show, we're going to talk about determination today. I can give you some real solid testimonial on determination, let me tell you. But before we go down that path, I want to say thank you. And thank you to Richard for being a part of this adventure with me. And thank you to our viewers. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for getting your whole tribe to subscribe and commenting. Let us know what it is that you would like to have some input on or some guidance on. We'd be happy to put together a vlog as we roll out more of our programming. So you want to do this on determination, huh, Richard? What triggered you to say that?
Well, it's really interesting. So today I've been sat out because so most of you know that I'm over in England. So today I've been sat here doing a load of documents, and we're talking 30, 40 documents, preparing them for governmental department. And I'll be honest with you, it's as boring as anything. It is so not my bag at all. It's not something that interests me. However, it is something that moves me towards where I'm trying to get my team and get my company to be. And it's moving me closer to my goals. And when we're talking about, what we're going to do today, what we're going to do, it just really has triggered something in my mind that actually the only reason that I've kind of kept going through all of this drudgery, all of this paperwork, all of this admin, has been because actually I'm determined to achieve my goals.
Tell us how you really feel. Agony.
Well, let's just say normally I would never have more than one cup of tea or coffee a day. I really control the amount of caffeine that I have in my body. I've had 2 so far, so that'll tell you kind of what's going on. I've had a few liters of water along the way. I've even, I took a break to go and walk down the shop to buy some rice because one of my team dropped a load of water over a laptop, so we put it in rice to try and get the water out. But no, so even though it wasn't a job for me, I went and did it just because at that point my eyes had all gone blurry. I was fed up with looking at the screen. I was like, no, I'll walk down the shop and buy a bag of rice to do that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that story. I think a major part of who I am as a person is determined. Maybe it's because I'm a fire sign. Maybe it's because it's just, an element of who I am. I can tell you so many stories about being determined. And I'm working on something right now where I'm just determined. I'm just determined that this thing is going to pop. And I'm not listening to or hearing or engaging in or entertaining any sort of excuses or resistance or anything from other people that are involved, especially me, So I've caught myself last night, I ended up working till midnight. I had to get out some materials, kind of like you just get it done. And then sort of like this, I got tired, like obviously it's midnight. And then this little creepy negative voice starts crawling into my head and saying, well, I don't think that's going to work. And it's been too long already. And that crazy stuff that goes on in the back of your mind. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go to sleep and I'm going to let this go. And this morning I got up and I'm like, hell no, I'm determined. This is happening. And whatever, what does it take? Like, if they're not coming here, then we're going there and this thing is happening. So I love that feeling because I feel that like in my solar plexus, like I feel it deep inside my being that I'm committed to this outcome. It's an awesome feeling.
Is, and it's so important. It really is, because I'm sat here and I'm listening to you. And I'm really reflecting on. Yeah, have I spoken about dopamine loops and dopamine versus endorphins on this
I think you
podcast?
should share that because it's an important piece of information people need to have.
Yeah. The thing, go back millions of years, when we were cave dwellers, we had no, if we'd run out of food and we needed to go and hunt a boar, or go and hunt for some food, and that was going to be an all-night trek. And so what would happen is our body would release dopamine, which is the searching drug, our body, to keep us going and to keep us going. And when it got late at night and we were still, hiding there waiting for the boar to go past and all the rest of it, it will be the dopamine that drives us, just the same as this dopamine that's got me through this afternoon. Now, what happens is when you get there, when you achieve that goal, when you actually, you've got that wild boar and your family going to eat for the next week, woohoo! You get a massive, massive rush of endorphins released through your brain and through your body. Now, that amount of endorphins, apart from making you feel absolutely fantastic, and being very natural painkiller. There's lots of things that happen in the brain. It makes your brain fire off and conduct a lot faster, for example, as well. But apart from that, what it does is it counteracts the amount of dopamine that's built up in your system. So when you get that endorphin rush, the whole point is there's so many endorphins, actually it brings down the amount of dopamine that you've got. So doing something like you've just described, doing something that I've just described, it's all about that endorphin rush at the end. It's all about the success that we're going to feel at the end. Now, the reason I say this is that some of our listeners may be aware of something called the dopamine loop, which is kind of it's not kind of, it is where you get too much dopamine. So even when you get an endorphin rush, the endorphin rush isn't enough to counteract dopamine. An example would be, how many of us have sat there on the couch looking at our phone, pick it up, oh, there's no light blinking, we haven't got a message, so we put it back down again. Then about 2 seconds later, you pick it up, oh, light's still not blinking.
Are you spying on me?
Yeah, I do this. I know you too well. So you swipe the screensaver, to see if you've got any messages. Oh, there's still no messages. So what you do is you open up your Facebook app or you open up your email app and you hit refresh.
I'm busted. I'm so busted.
It's so true. And what's happening here is you got a dopamine. You've got a huge amount of dopamine going on, and you're searching and searching and searching. The moment you do get a message, you get a text message, you get an email or something like that, what you do is you reply straight away. You don't even give it a second thought. You'll look straight away. They're tapping or swiping to reply straight away, because what's happened there is the endorphin rush you got from receiving that message wasn't big enough to counteract the amount of dopamine that has built up. And so what happens is your body goes into another dopamine loop where it's now searching for the next response in order to get that endorphin rush and to try and get a bigger endorphin rush. So then you sit there going, well, I replied straight away. Why haven't they replied yet? Well, I'm waiting for them. Don't they know I'm sat here waiting for them?
That's hilarious. And well, thank you for unpacking that, because I know we've all had those experiences, right? And it's really, that's a chemical, that's a high, that's a chemical addiction, if you will, and I remember the first time I sort of actually realized that was a massive part of me. I was this little kid and I grew up on a farm, and we were like 30 miles from the nearest town. It was very rural, and we didn't have paved roads, like there were gravel roads. So it was awesome. I loved it. It was phenomenal being there and just having my horses and riding my horses and hanging out outdoors and building tree houses. I mean, that was a major part of my existence. But when I became a teenager, that's when it became a massive hindrance. And I remember there was a party, a really big party coming up, and it was like 2 towns over, basically. So it's like 50 miles from where I lived. And my mom was away at some family gathering. And I decided I was going to go, but I had no way to get there. So I just built this up in me, For days I built this up because I knew my mother was going to be gone for the weekend and I was going to be at home alone. And it was like carte blanche, right? So by the time the day of the party came up, which I think was on a Saturday, I'm like, okay, I'm all prepared mentally, emotionally, physically, like I'm dialed into attending this party. Like I'm already there. I'm living the party in my mind. So I just decided to start walking. And I think I probably walked about maybe 4 miles. And I just kept seeing myself at the party, like I'm at the party. And it was that determination that just kept putting one foot in front of the other. And along comes a neighbor. And they're like, what are you doing out here? And I went, yeah, I'm going to see my friends and my mom's out of town. And, I just really need to catch a ride. Do you mind dropping me off? They drove me to the next town. And then I caught up with my friends who drove me to the party. And so then I got to the party. I wasn't even thinking about how I was going to get home. I just wanted to go to the party. So I get to the party and then, party's over. And now it's like reversing the scenario. But it was easier to get home, I would say, because maybe that was the endorphin part. Like all the dopamine was getting there. And then it was so exciting to be there. I didn't even care about the small detail of getting home. And so that just manifested itself as well. But I remember that experience. Like when you're describing the whole text message thing, I'm like, that was me when I was a kid. Like I would lock onto something and you could not keep me from achieving that. And I felt that same feeling overwhelmingly this morning when I was thinking about this thing I'm working on. And so it's already a done deal. I love it. I love it.
It's so important that we recognize that. It's so important that actually we give ourselves little rewards along the way, on our journey, because actually, so the stuff that I'm doing is for a submission to a government department for the mentoring school. Now, actually, that won't be the end of my journey. That is like,
oh my God, it's just the beginning.
Yeah. It's maybe like the fifth or sixth milestone on our journey. Now, what, in my head, I'm giving myself a little reward every time, because for such that reason, you don't want to make your journey too long. That the amount of dopamine that builds up means that you kind of never get there, or you never feel the success when you do get there. So whenever I'm talking to people about sort of where they want to go, mindset, and all these things, if you know the direction of travel, then plan rewards for yourself along the way.
Yeah, you know what I have as a reward? I've already set up the reward. This is so brilliant that we're having this conversation. You and I are just like on the same wavelength, on opposite side of the pond. So I already set up the reward. A couple weeks ago, I'm like, you know what? I've been saving this bottle of Cristal for a special occasion. And this is
me. I know.
Right. This is the occasion. So I've got that Cristal on ice. That baby's in the fridge.
Yay!
It's chilled and it's ready. Pop the cork and clink the glasses, and there we have it. That's my. Oh my gosh! Thank you so much for sharing this dialogue with me. Like I think I could probably like fly on my own now. Just so good. So is that dopamine or endorphins?
Well, it's the endorphins that make you feel like you can fly. It's the dopamines that kind of build you up to get there.
I love it. So I've always, really loved my endorphins, hence my working out, I'm bragging about my biceps, by the way. So, because I put my time in. But it really, like, I'm starting to think that this dopamine stuff that's my counter addiction. I'm loving it. So I think we're done. We're out of time and we could probably go on forever. Did you have a one for our most loyal fans and listeners?
Wow. Okay, so today, my one is always about my one is there is nothing wrong with rewarding yourself for reaching a small milestone on your journey.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's important. I think my one will be that it's important to connect the dots between the outcome and a feeling of that feeling of determination. So you dial into the outcome. All the other stuff in the middle doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how long it takes. Doesn't matter who says no. It doesn't matter, what hurdles you hit or what bumps are on the road. Just ignore all that and just like stay anchored into that feeling, because that's what's going to drive it home. That's my one. So say goodbye.
No, well, I mean, I love you so much. Right, guys, thank you very much. And please reach out to us, LinkedIn, Twitter, comment, give us some feedback. Tell us the other things that you want to hear from us.
Yes, and thank you so much for tuning in and sharing. And I've been, putting these out into various digital media platforms, and I'm watching the action happen on the back end, and we're really grateful. I hope you guys love these and that you find them fun, because we certainly want to make sure that we come across that way, because we're having fun doing it. So, au revoir. Mwah.